Hello, everybody. Welcome on into the stream if you are watching live or on demand on YouTube. Welcome to a live stream version of a Cavs Knicks first round of the NBA playoffs preview. Thank you guys so much for coming in and watching. We have had so much support here on this channel the last couple of days. I think we've grown by at least 20 subscribers or so. And I just want to thank you guys so much for all of your support the last couple of days. As we settle on in here with the Cavs talk, we're going to have some discussion about what's been going on with the Knicks, what's been going on with the Cavs. And let's get my face here up on the screen. Welcome, everybody. How are you guys doing today on a Saturday night? Thank you so much for coming out to the stream. But let me get this ready here. Get that recorded. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Benchwarmer Sports. Absolutely previewing the Cavs and Knicks first round series. I'm just going to be going over some, stats, some storylines that could be going on here in the first round. We're going to be taking a look at players, their stats, how I feel like they're going to match up with each other. Just a bunch of different things that we're going to be talking about tonight. A lot of stats are going to be thrown at you today, just because I want to give a more numerical and statistical look at the series, just crunching the numbers, because I feel like a lot of the things that have been discussed have not really been thought out as much, both from me and from other people. We really have to crunch the numbers and look at the numbers to really look at just how even both of these teams are, because it's going to be a series. It's going to be a really fun series, and I cannot wait. So I'm going to go to the first game. I cannot wait for that. We're going to be going on Saturday, I believe, which should be the first game. So if you guys are going to the game downtown Cleveland for the Cavs and Knicks game 1, I'll be there with you. So maybe we'll see each other, passing by in the concourses. But anyways, without further ado, let's get on with the video, or at least the stream if you're watching this live. But I just wanted to go over a couple of things because I feel like the most talked about thing here for the series is that it's going to be Donovan Mitchell versus the New York Knicks. And I think that's going to be the prevalent storyline. But in my opinion, this series is so much more than that. It's legitimately two teams who have been built almost identical to each other. They made a splash trade, this offseason. The Cavs get Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks thought they were going to get Donovan Mitchell. Instead, they go for Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson has worked out terrifically for them. I mean, he's averaging 24 points, 49% from the field, about 40% from three, or no, what is he doing? 41.6% from three, about 4 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, the guy has just been really good for the Knicks. Julius Randle's having a career year, 25 points, 10 rebounds. But the one thing is that he's been out for the last couple of weeks with that sprained ankle. He's going to get looked at here in a couple of days, see what his status is. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those two star players go out. But I did want to talk because a lot of talk has been about Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers taking on the New York Knicks. Well, I feel like, when you have to talk about Donovan Mitchell, you have to talk about him being the best player in this series. And I feel like, I want to say it's not close, but I just feel like Donovan Mitchell is on a different, tier than, players like Julius Randle or Jalen Brunson. I would probably put Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson in their own tier, right below Donovan Mitchell. I would probably put Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and probably like Emmanuel Quickly or Quentin Grimes on that tier with them. Um, but I just feel like Donovan Mitchell just gives the Cavaliers a much, much, much bigger advantage over the Knicks than I think somebody like Julius Randle or Jalen Brunson gives the Knicks over the Cavaliers. If you get what I'm saying, right? But I mean, Donovan Mitchell is just playing the best career or his best basketball in his career the last couple of months. He's averaged like 28.4 points per game. That's a career high for him. He's shooting 28 or 48.4% from the field, 38% from the 3-point line, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Just absolutely dominating. I think he's had 12 or 13 40-point games this season, which breaks LeBron's record from I think 2006, 2007 when he had to carry the Cavs to the finals against the Spurs. But no, I like I said, I definitely think Donovan Mitchell, he just gives the Cavs a much bigger advantage than somebody like Julius Randle or somebody like Jalen Brunson. I definitely think Darius Garland, and I think Darius Garland gives a little bit of an advantage with his playmaking ability. Jalen Brunson, I feel like, is a better scorer than Garland. I think he's probably better than Garland in many ways. I just feel like Darius Garland has been a little bit overshadowed in this series because it's been the Donovan Mitchell show, right? It's been the Donovan Mitchell, the whole headline of Donovan Mitchell and the Knicks. But I just feel like Darius Garland's kind of gone a little bit underreported, under notified, or underrepresented, excuse me. Because I mean he's had a stagnant year. We can say that. He's averaging 21.6 points per game, shooting 46% from the field, 41% from three, which is better from last year. He only shot like 37 or 38% from three, which has been really good. But he's had like 3 rebounds and 7.8 assists, which has been a little bit of a dip since last year where I think he had like 8.6 assists per game. But it's understandable when you have Donovan Mitchell, who's also taking a lot of shots as well. So, but no, I really think Darius Garland has not been looked at, has not been looked at in a good light, or not a good light, but he's not been looked at enough in this series or by like coverage in the media. Yeah, Mitchell is way better than Quentin Grimes. I agree, Christopher. But you know what I'm saying? It's just Donovan Mitchell just gives you a better advantage than most of the players on the Knicks would have an advantage over the Cavs, which is what I'm trying to say. But no, Darius Garland has been really good this season. At times you would probably want him to be more aggressive. That's what I'm definitely looking for in this series. How aggressive is Darius going to be? Because Donovan Mitchell has been carrying this Cavs team pretty much for the last couple of weeks, just putting on insane performances, week in and week out. So I would like to see Darius Garland kind of step up a little bit because I don't want to say he's been coasting, but he's kind of, he's relented a little bit too much to Donovan, in my opinion. I would like to see, Darius put his foot down, or at least, say, hey, a couple situations when, Donovan is doing Donovan's thing, let me handle the ball, let me handle the rock, let me play make, do all those types of things. Because I definitely feel Darius Garland has CP3 in him. He has a little bit of flashes of CP3 in him with the playmaking ability. I can definitely see it, and I would like to see Darius just take a little bit more control of the offense, just a little bit. Not saying Donovan's bad by any means. Don't get me wrong, but I would just like to see Darius, get some more things, get some more touches here and there. But Brunson's the same as Garland. RJ Barrett's better than Okoro. Randall, Mobley, Allen's better than Robinson. Nick's bench is better than Cat's bench. Well, we will talk about that, Christopher. We will talk about that, but thank you for coming on. I know you're a Knicks fan, by the way, just FYI. Yep. Yeah, well, Randall is definitely better than Mobley. I think that's fine. That's definitely fine. But I definitely have some stats about the Cavs and Knicks benches that were kind of interesting to me, and I'll get to that in a minute. Because not to give too much away, but it was kind of interesting to see how sort of similar they are. They're not that far apart. I feel like that's kind of been a misconception that we've heard about. Yes, the Knicks bench is better than the Cavaliers, but not by much, to be honest with you. From what I've seen from stats, it's not. They're not that much better than us. They have a lot more playmakers than we do on the bench. Don't get me wrong, but from the stats that I've looked at, they're from StatMuse. They're not. The Knicks bench is not as like they're not that much better than the Cavaliers bench. But that's not to say that the Knicks bench is bad or is not as good as what people think. I just feel like it's a lot closer than what people have been expecting. But no, I mean, but in the series sense, Donovan Mitchell is going to be the key to the Cavaliers' success. I think that's not a secret to anybody. He gives the Cavaliers a huge advantage in terms of playmaking. Just absolutely can shoot it from anywhere on the court. I mean, really, and if we're being honest, Donovan Mitchell could probably average 40 points a game, and this series could still probably go 6 games, 7 games. Because I feel like that is probably what the Knicks are going to try and do defensively. I think if I'm the Knicks, if I'm, trying to, strategize for the Knicks, if I'm Tom Thibodeau, I would just say, hey, Donovan Mitchell's an MVP caliber player. Let him get his. Seriously, let him get his. He's going to score 40 points a night, I definitely feel let's just make Darius Garland try and beat us, okay? Because Darius Garland has it in him to score 45 points, but not every night. I feel like if he can give you 25 points a game in this series, the Cavs are looking pretty good. But if I'm Tom Thibodeau, I'm saying, hey, let Donovan get his. We know he can. He's probably going to anyway. Let's make Darius Garland. Let's make Evan Mobley. Let's make Jarrett Allen. Let's make Karis LeVert. Let's make Jetty Osman try and beat us. Donovan Mitchell is going to get his. Let's have these other guys try and beat us now, because let's lock in on them and see what they can do. Because I feel like if they do that, then they have a good shot to win the series, or at least make it go to 7 games. Because in my opinion, I think this series can go either way in 6. Like, seriously, I think the Knicks can win in 6. I think the Cavs can win in 6. But I feel like if the Knicks want to make it go to 7, I feel like that strategy has a really, really, really good chance of making it go to a 7th game, which would be played in Cleveland. And I feel like the Cavs have more of an opportunity to win that one than, say, if it was, if the shoe was on the other foot, if they had to go to Madison Square Garden for Game 7, which is a whole different world. It's a whole different discussion. Let's talk matchups. If Brunson is covered by Okoro, then that leaves D. Mitchell and or Garland to cover R.J. Barrett in the post, and that is a mismatch in my opinion. Yeah, well, we'll see. The problem, Christopher, is that for me, I feel like if he gets to that post, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, they're 6'1", or at least Donovan Mitchell, 6'1" to 6'3". I've heard so many different heights on that guy. He probably has like 15 different heights, but yeah, I mean, R.J. Barrett is a good player when he's down low in the post. He can't shoot from the perimeter. I don't know why. The last couple of months, he's been terrible at shooting from the perimeter. But no, I feel like R.J. Barrett can do some damage if he gets down that low. But you also have to put into perspective, you got Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen in a Twin Towers look that can just absolutely block any shot. So, I mean, I would not put too much emphasis on RJ Barrett. I'm not that big of an RJ Barrett fan, to be honest with you. I just feel like he's an average player. I don't really see him much as like a threat that the Cavs need to take seriously. In my opinion, you just need to worry about Randall, quickly, Brunson, and then maybe was it quickly and Grimes. I think those are the four players that the Cavs have to worry about, because R.J. Barrett. No offense to him, R.J. Barrett just cannot shoot. He's like Isaac Okoro. He just can't shoot from the perimeter. He's terrible. He's terrible at it. Um, but no, I mean, I just feel like, if R.J. Barrett is going to do anything in the series, he's going to have to drive to the rim. He just cannot shoot. He cannot shoot. So, and if he does that, he's going to be met by the two best interior defensive players in the league, in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And they're averaging over, I think, a block and a half per game. Let me see here. I got Evan Mobley has got 1.5 blocks per game. Jared Allen with 1.2 blocks per game. So it was almost right. They're averaging over a block a game. I think Evan Mobley has the most contested shots out of anybody. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I think the biggest X factor for the Cavaliers outside of Donovan Mitchell is Evan Mobley. If Evan Mobley can get it going, if he can continue his dominance that he showed the last couple of months since January, I think he's been averaging like 19 points a game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. He's just absolutely put it on the last couple of months, because in the beginning he was kind of stagnant, wasn't really like showing that much. But ever since January, the one thing that everybody wanted to see from him is just be aggressive. We just wanted him to be aggressive. Play like you're a 7-footer. And since January, Evan Mobley has just turned on the switch. He's just flipped the switch, and he has just gone to another level. He's been showing flashes that he can, take you one-on-one. He's been showing, fadeaway moves. He's been showing post moves. I mean, the guy has got so much tools and intangibles to work with. I feel like in the next couple of years, Evan Mobley can legitimately be in the conversation as a top 10 player. That's a hot take for me. I don't think it's that hot of a take, but I definitely feel like Evan Mobley in the next couple of years, if he can continue to grow, if he can continue to, progress that 3-point shot, if he can continue to space the floor, because I feel like that's not been talked about enough. Evan Mobley has been spacing the floor more. We have been seeing him more in like the corner spots. He has been spacing the floor. He has been, handling the ball one-on-one. Hey, Beast Girls, how you doing? Thank you for joining. But, Evan Mobley has been, coming out on the perimeter to, try and space the floor with Jared Allen. And, a lot of people were saying that, with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, it was clogging up the lanes, and, it wasn't like, it was not that good for both big men to be in the post. But if you haven't been watching the Cavs, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen work really well with each other when they're down low together. We've been seeing a lot of lob passes between Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. The throw to the fro, or the throw to Mo. That's what they've been called. But I mean, they work really well together. So I don't really see the concern with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen both being down low with each other, because they work very well with one another. They have a chemistry, with each other to just absolutely, they just have a feel with one another down in the low post area. So I don't really have that much of a concern with that. But like I said, Evan Mobley, I feel like, can be a really big X factor for the Cavaliers if he can continue to score like 15 points a game, have 10 rebounds, get a couple of assists. I feel like he can be a really big factor against the Knicks, because on the other side for the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson absolutely bodied Evan Mobley down low the last time the Knicks and the Cavs played each other. I think the last time I saw it, they had it was a 13-3 advantage in the offensive rebound game. I mean, Mitchell Robinson was just absolutely eating up the boards against Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley was not having a good rebounding night that night. So Mitchell Robinson can handle himself down low. He's been like a defensive machine. I think he's like averaging almost 2 blocks a game. I think 1.8 blocks per game. So he's been having a really good season defensively. Offensively, he's kind of iffy. But I definitely feel like Evan Mobley and Mitchell Robinson is a definite matchup to look at least for me. I'm more biased because I trained as a center, so I know a lot of center moves. I know what to do as a center, and just as a personal bias for me, that's what I always look at. I always look at the centers, especially when they're matching up down on the low post. It's the thing I know the most about because I train with an NBA trainer. I know what to do, what not to do, how to get around an opponent, drop steps, fadeaways, jabs, like up and unders, all that stuff. So Evan Mobley and Mitchell Robinson, even Jared Allen and Mitchell Robinson should be a really good matchup in this series. It's something that I think everybody should be looking at because the Cavs are not a good rebounding team. I got it written down here. I think they're 25th in the league. Yep, they're 25th in the league in terms of rebounding. So the Cavaliers can be, hurt when it comes to rebounding. So if the Knicks can get, enough offensive rebounds, get some extra possessions their way, get the ball into Jalen Brunson's hands, Julius Randle, if he's able to play in this series, I definitely feel like maybe he can miss game 1 or 2. It just depends on where his health is at. I know he doesn't like to miss games, but if he's not able to play, I don't see him being out for the entire series. I feel like if he's out for the entire series, I think the Knicks are much worse position really than going into the series. But no, I just feel like Evan Mobley, Jared Allen against Mitchell Robinson is a definite matchup to look at for the Cavaliers and for fans in general, because if the Knicks can get that offensive rebound battle won in this series, they have a really good shot of taking control of the series, because you get extra possessions in the hands of Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle, you can hurt the Cavs, and we've been victims of that where we've lost 3 out of 4. And I haven't gone back to see what the rebounding numbers were, but I would happen to guess that we lost the rebounding battle, especially on the offensive end. But I got a comment here. That's true about Mobley roaming around in the post. So I'd have Randle stay out by the 3-point line, where Mobley will have to stick close by because of the 3-point threat Randle possesses. I mean, true, but also Evan Mobley is just an insane defender. I mean, he's the leader in defensive, in contested shots. So I really wouldn't have Mobley. I wouldn't really feel like Mobley being around the perimeter means that the Knicks can score easier. I guess if that's the question that you're trying to ask, but I mean, just having Mobley on you is hard. So I don't know, because Randall's game, we haven't talked about. Randall's game is legitimately just bullying your way into the paint and trying to score at the rim. He can shoot. So that would be the one thing I'm concerned about with Mobley guarding him. If he does guard him, if Randall plays, that would be my one concern, is having Evan, try and contain Julius Randle when he drives to the paint. Because if he does that, I mean, I think Randall probably has like 30 or 40 pounds on Evan, or something like that. So that would be the one concern that I would have if Evan Mobley has to guard Julius Randle. Because, in my opinion, if Randall's going to be shooting threes, I feel like that's a win for the Cavs, because, we give up, I think, the least amount of threes, or at least one of the fewest amount of 3-pointers, for our opponents. But the problem is that a lot of our opponents make their threes. I think we give up like the third least amount of threes, but the percentage of threes made by the opponent is like 16th or 17th in the league. So if opponents shoot threes, they usually make it on us, which, not good, but um, like I said, I feel like if Evan Mobley has to guard Julius Randle, I would rather have him, try and chuck threes over Evan and than trying to drive in the paint, because I feel like Evan would probably get blown blown by and just shoved out of the way. And also, granted, you could probably say like, Allen would be there too, but he's going to probably leave off of his man, Mitchell Robinson, and then Robinson could be open for a lob. So there's a lot to think about with that. So, but anyways, the one storyline that we got to talk about is the Julius Randle ankle injury, because it was really bad. It was really, really bad when you watched it, because you can even hear the crowd reaction. They were gasping, and they were gasping when they saw it on the jumbotron at Madison Square Garden, because it looked bad. But it was a sprained ankle. He's been out the last couple of games, last couple of weeks. So his health is going to be in question throughout the entire series. How's that ankle going to hold up? It's going to be very interesting to see how Julius Randle can come back. I would be surprised if Julius Randle doesn't play the first game, but it also would not shock me as well, because I don't know if they want to, keep him down for at least 1 or 2 games while, they try and get him back to 100%, or at least close to 100%. But that ankle injury for Randle is definitely going to be an interesting thing to look at for the rest of the series, because if Randle is not 100% and they're going to play him, that would kind of worry me as a Knicks fan, to be honest. That would kind of worry me. I just feel like ankle injuries are so finicky at times, because just one wrong movement on that ankle and you can roll it some weird wrong way, and just absolutely ruin your season and ruin your the next couple of games because of an injury that you weren't trying to cause, but one wrong move and you roll your ankle and you're donezo. But anyways, I feel like if Randle can play, very, very, very big advantage to the Knicks. They're a lot better with him on the court than not. Contrary to what some people want to say, Jalen Brunson does have the ball in his hands more when Randle is out, but I don't feel like that's a positive at times, because Jalen Brunson and Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, I don't know if that really beats the Cavs 4 out of 7 times, or Obi Toppin too. I don't think that really beats them that many times. But if Julius Randle is out there, absolutely, I think that it's a really big advantage for the Knicks to have that. They're a really great 1-2 punch with each other, and I definitely think the Cavs would have some problems if Julius Randle can come back in time. Just looked up on StatMuse. Julius Randle has the most 3-pointers made of any frontcourt player in the entire NBA this season, and is number 8 overall. Mobley will have to contest. Well, yeah, Christopher. But the thing is with Mobley is that he's the leader in contested shots this season, and that's the one thing about Evan Mobley, is that Evan Mobley can guard 1 through 5. He can guard you on the perimeter, and he can guard you in the interior. So, like I said, I would not have any qualms with Evan Mobley having to guard somebody on the perimeter, because Evan Mobley, no matter what you try and do, Evan Mobley will stick to you like glue. He will try and jump and do anything to block that shot. If he makes it over you, fair shot. That's my thing. As long as he's able to contest, Randle's shots, I'll be fine with it, because you know why? Good shot. It's a good shot. Now, I don't want him to make open threes, but the thing is with Evan, if Evan guards him with Randle playing, Evan's not going to give you an open 3. He will contest it. He will do everything to stay in front of his man, and that is good. He can guard Randle on the perimeter, but that'll be one less person in the paint. But like I said, Christopher, you still have Jared Allen in the paint. Jared Allen's one of the top interior defensive, big men in the league. So I mean, it's not that bad of a thing, for Evan to be on the perimeter because you also have Jared Allen in the paint, who's one of the best defensive big men in the league. That's why I said the Cavaliers are so versatile. They're the best ranked defensive team in the entire NBA. They're also the 8th ranked offense in the entire NBA. They're a really good, solid basketball team, which is what I was trying to say in my previous video that a lot of Knicks fans got mad at me because, like I said, I felt like the Knicks or the Cavs were being very underrated and they were just being like dumbed down into Donovan Mitchell and a bunch of really good young players against the mighty New York Knicks just in terms of reputation when it's not that. Because the Cavaliers are such a versatile team. They are young, but they're so versatile and good. But no, I mean, if Evan Mobley has to guard Julius Randle on the perimeter, I have no worries about Jared Allen, being the only person in the paint because Jared Allen will hold his own. He can hold his own. He can do whatever he wants in that paint. My only issue is that if Julius Randle drives and then just absolutely bodies Evan, then you're going to have Jared Allen or Lamar or somebody having to step in to, to stop Julius, and then that leaves somebody open, whether it's Mitchell Robinson for an easy lob or maybe, Emmanuel Quickly or Evan Fournier or somebody like that on the three-point line. Josh Hart, too. I mean, they got, like I said, the Knicks have a lot of weapons, too, but like I said, I'll probably get to the bench here right now since I'm talking about Emmanuel Quickly and Josh Hart. So I looked at StatMuse while I was doing some research before we got on here. By the way, thank you guys so much for coming out here on your Saturday night. I really appreciate you guys coming out here for the stream. Really appreciate you guys, supporting the channel. We've been growing the last couple of days. We're at like 556 subscribers now. So if you are new and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate it. I'm just trying to point out potential mismatches. If it's RJ versus Mitchell and Garland in the post, advantage Knicks, and if Mobley stays on the perimeter, Allen may have to cheat over equals live pass. Yeah, no, I agree, Christopher. I mean, I'm not trying to debate you or anything. I'm not. Like I said, if you feel that way, I apologize. I'm not trying to do that. But I mean, I agree with you. Like I said, if Mobley's on the perimeter and Allen may have to cheat over for a lot, and it's gonna create live passes to Mitchell or to Robinson. But my thing is that if Randle only stays on the perimeter and he's not driving as much because of that ankle, or if the Cavs just are able to keep him out of the paint, I feel like that's an advantage to the Cavaliers because Julius Randle can body Evan Mobley. He can push him out. He can absolutely push him out of the way, and that'll cause the defense to collapse in on him, and then he can either lob it to Mitchell Robinson, he can pass it out, kick out to somebody else. So if Julius Randle has to stay on the perimeter, he's going to be chucking threes. I am all for that. My problem is if he starts driving into the lane, I'm not comfortable with Evan Mobley trying to keep up with him in the paint because Evan Mobley's not big enough yet to guard people like that. He's going to get pushed out of the way. We've seen it happen with him when he faced like Giannis or Embiid or somebody like that. So it's definitely one that I'm concerned about. But glad to have civil discourse regarding our respective teams. Already subscribed. Well, thank you, Christopher. I appreciate your subscription. Like I said, thank you guys so much for your support the last couple of days. We've been growing. I think this is the largest we've grown since football season. So I really appreciate you guys. Even if you guys don't like me or don't like Cleveland sports, if you guys just like sports in general, hit that subscribe button. Even if you don't want to watch a single second of my videos, just hit that sub button. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't hurt. It just takes literally like a half a second. Hit that subscribe button. Just get me closer to 1,000 subs. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things. We're going to be doing some videos at the Cavs-Knicks game next Saturday, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys are tuned into that. I got a lot more videos coming out here soon. Also, if you guys are, feeling extra generous, you want to donate, My Cash App is down here. All the proceeds go to absolutely upgrading the quality of content here on this channel. Been getting a green screen, better mics, better cameras, some setup stuff, better background, because background is kind of a little bit dull, but all that stuff absolutely goes towards the quality of content. So if you guys are feeling extra generous, there's my Cash App. That's the best way you can donate to me, to the channel. It's not mandatory. It's absolutely, your prerogative. So, but it's greatly appreciated if you guys do. But let's get back to the stats at hand. With the benches, I feel like what we've been hearing about is that the Knicks bench is really a lot better than the Cavs bench. And, I will agree with you guys that the Knicks bench is better than the Cavaliers. You definitely have a lot more talent on the bench than the Cavs do. You got Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin at times, very frustrating to watch, but he's good on there. Josh Hart, really good as well. Sometimes Evan Fournier is good. Sometimes he's absolutely terrible. But you guys have a lot of good players on the bench. But I was surprised to see, really, when you crunch down and look at the numbers, they're not really that much far apart. Even though the eye test maybe me tell you different, it's really not that much of a difference, because I looked at StatMuse, by the way, and most of these numbers that I put out here are from StatMuse. The other ones, like the team ratings and and stuff like that, were from BasketballReference.com. But from what I could gather from the bench stats, you got the Cavs. They're ranked 28th in the league in terms of bench. Not surprised with that. They're not that great of a bench team. Not really that many scores on there, but what we could see is that they average 28.3 points per game, get about 12 rebounds, 2 steals, a block per game, shoot about 45% from the field and 34% from 3. So again, not that great of numbers from the Cavs. Definitely need to upgrade that when it comes to the offseason. You got potential shooters in Danny Green and Sam Merrill, who I would love to see, get some playing time in this series, because I feel like they could have a great impact in terms of shooting. Only problem is that Danny Green's coming off of a torn ACL. He's also 36 years old, so I don't know. But the guy did score 21 points. It was against the Magic, yes, I know. But he still scored 21 points in an NBA game. He can do whatever he wants. So I would love to see, Danny Green or Sam Merrill and, get some playing time here in the playoffs, because I feel like if JB Bickerstaff can open up his rotation, it can be a really good, thing for the Cavs. Knicks have a really good bench. IQ or Emmanuel Quickly should win 6th Man of the Year. Yeah, I definitely feel like he should be up for the conversation. I definitely can agree with that. Now, it may surprise you when I'm about to say, I would not say they have a really good bench. They have a good bench. I wouldn't say they have a really good bench, though. But what I was getting back to is that, Cavs have some players here on the bench that I feel like can make a difference. Karis LeVert, 6th man off the bench, had a really, really tough stretch at the end of February where he just could not get anything going. I think he was averaging like 4 points per game, like 3 assists, 3 rebounds. I mean, he was just awful. But he's since turned it around. He's been a really good player for us off the bench. Can contribute. Once he's hot, he can contribute just a really good amount. But he's been averaging about 12 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Gets about 43% from the field, 39% from 3. The only problem is that he shoots about 72% from the free throw line. So Cavs, once again, they're not really a good free throw shooting team. They're about middle of the pack. I think they shoot about 78% from the field or from the free throw line. But the one thing about LeVert is that for some reason he can shoot very well. Like he can contribute very well in the playoffs. Like his playoff numbers are a lot different than his regular season numbers, and that kind of intrigues me because in terms of playoffs, he's played 9 games. He started in 6 of them. I think the majority of them came from when he was in Brooklyn. But when he's been in the playoffs, he's averaged about 20.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 43% from the field, and about 45% from downtown. So if Karis LeVert can contribute like that for the Cavaliers in this series, I definitely feel like the Cavaliers have a shot to win this thing in 6 because he can, once Karis is hot, he can score with the best, he can keep up with anybody, really. And I feel like him being on the bench, which I felt like he should have been at the beginning of the year, I definitely agree with the decision to put, a Coro or somebody like that in front of LeVert. I mean, if LeVert can contribute like that, the Cavs have a really good, shot because I just don't feel like we really need our bench to contribute that much because we have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen who can score like 15 plus points a game. So definitely having, a good solid couple of guys come off the bench for you in a playoff game is definitely very important. But I don't feel like, having a good bench is that much or that important in a playoff game when, if you have guys that can score, 40 points a game like Donovan can. But no, like I said, if LeVert can contribute like that, the Cavs are in a good space. Also, Cedi Osman. We have to talk about Cedi Osman because, Cedi Osman, the first Jedi. What can I say about Cedi Osman? At times, the most frustrating player on this team. At times, can absolutely make almost every 3 he puts up. Like I said, he is the most infuriating guy because for some reason, Cedi Osman can go off in 2 games, can score like 25 points, and then the next 6 games he can score like no more than 6. And the worst part is that he has it in him to like score, like he can be a consistent scorer. It's just like he cannot put 2 and 2 together. He's not consistent enough. His season stats right now, they're 9 points per game, 45% from the field, shooting about 37% from 3. Again, a 70% free throw shooter. I definitely I feel like if Cedi can score consistently in this series, if he can give us like 8 to 10 points a night, maybe even more. Some nights he can score like 15 or something like that. That will be a really big contributing factor for the Cavs. Y'all getting smoked? No, we're not getting smoked. No team is going to get smoked. No team is getting smoked in this series. No team is getting smoked. If anything, you guys are going to get smoked. I'm joking, but nobody's getting smoked in this series. Like I said, going back, if Cedi Osman can be consistent, if he can score 10 to 15 points in this series a night, the Cavs are in a much better spot in terms of their bench because Cedi Osman has it within him to be a really, really good role player in the NBA. The only thing that's holding him back is that he's inconsistent. So if he can find some consistency and can find something to absolutely make 2-3 threes a night, the Cavs are in a lot better position than previously going into the series. How big is the Cavs rotation in the playoffs? Rotation numbers get smaller. Some of those players you mentioned might not play. Well, the thing is that JB has a strict 8-9 man rotation that he plays. So I would definitely say, I definitely wouldn't think that anything would change Werewolf. So we already have a small rotation to begin with. So I definitely don't see anything changing. So I think the players that I'm mentioning will play. It might be different for the Knicks. I don't know. But no, JB's like notorious for only having like an 8-9 man rotation, which makes a lot of Cavs fans unhappy because we feel like it should be opened up a lot more than than what it is right now. But damn, the Guardians finally scored. Yeah, I know. I saw Miles Straw just scored. I have it on my TV over here, B Scroll. So that's nice to see. But anyways, let's go on with the Knicks bench because what a lot of people have been saying is that the Knicks bench is a lot better than the Cavaliers bench, and it is true that they are better than the Cavaliers. They're not better by much. They're not better by much, and they only score around 29.6 points per game, 16 rebounds. They shoot about 45.3% from the field. The problem here is that they shoot 33.4% from three. That's not that good. That's not that good. And, a lot of people say they're a lot better than the Cavs. They're only ranked 25th in the league. They're not that much better. And like I said, you have a lot of better players on your bench. Production-wise, you're not that much better. So, the notion that the Knicks have a great bench, the numbers don't back that up. I mean, the eye test may say differently, but the numbers don't back that up. That's the one thing I found surprising because I was buying into the whole thing where the Knicks have a really good bench, but when you look at the numbers, it tells a different story. It tells a really, really different story. But no, we'll get to the guys who I think can make an impact for the Knicks. Emmanuel Quickly, obviously, 6th Man of the Year contender, if not favorite. He's just been an absolute stud this season, averaging almost 15 points per game, 4 rebounds, about 3.4 assists, shooting 45% from the field, 37% from three, and 81% free throw shooter. He can kill the Cavs. I think this is the guy. Him and Karis LeVert can go toe to toe with one another. I think if Karis LeVert can put up some numbers, I definitely feel like him and Emmanuel Quickly can be the one that balance each other out. But then you also have another guy who was on the Cavs' radar, who was being reported to be interested in going to the Cavs, and the Cavs were definitely interested in picking him up. It was Josh Hart from the Trailblazers, got traded to the Knicks at the trade deadline. He's been having a really good season, especially been really good with the Knicks. He's been averaging 10 points per game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 53% from the field, 37% from three, and about 75% from the free throw line. He's been really good this year. I feel like Josh Hart can be the X factor here for the Knicks on the bench because I just don't see anybody on the Cavs outside of Karis LeVert, maybe Jetty Osman, but I feel like Josh Hart can be that X factor for the Knicks in this series when it comes to the bench. I feel like he can be a really big headache for the Cavs to defend when it comes to the bench because I don't think Lamar Stevens can keep up with him offensively. Maybe defensively he can limit the problems that Josh Hart can create. I don't know. I mean, Lamar Stevens has trouble getting has foul trouble sometimes. I just think Josh Hart can be a really, really big headache for the Cavs to keep up with. I definitely feel like the Knicks made a really good move with that trade for Josh Hart. It'll be very interesting to see what the Cavs have to game plan with for the Knicks bench because, like I said, the Knicks are not that much better than the Cavs when it comes to their bench, but they are better and they have a lot more talent. Like I said, Obi Toppin's there, Josh Hart, Emmanuel Quickly. Those are really, really good players there for the Knicks, and they can do a lot of damage to the Cavs. So it's definitely very interesting to see. But we'll go a second to last thing I want to talk about. We got to talk about just the overall team stats. What we got to see here, okay? Like I said, we're doing a lot of stats and analytical work, but it's definitely very important to look at the stats because a lot of times stats tell you a lot of things. But the Cavs, we all know the Cavs number one in terms of opponents' points per game. First in the NBA, only giving up 107 points per game. The problem is that they only score around 112 and a half points per game, which is 25th in the league. So we all know, I probably would say that that's mostly because of their bench. 28 and a half points per game from your bench is not good. 28th in the league. So it's not good. They play as the slowest. They play as the slowest team in the league as well, 95.7 pace. I think that's because of number of possessions per game. So we're the slowest. We're the slowest team in the league. Like I said before, rebounding has been a huge issue for us. 41 rebounds per game. That's 25th in the league. Like I said, Mitchell Robinson can definitely exploit that. Obi Toppin can exploit that. Definitely a big issue I think the Cavs have to work on, and the Knicks can definitely exploit if they're smart. They got exposed last night by the Pelicans. Well, they weren't playing their starters really. B Skrills. I mean, the Knicks really weren't playing anybody. I mean, the Pelicans were because they had to play everybody because they didn't want to play in the play-in. So, or they had to play in the play-in. So, I know. Did you talk about D. Mitch and Jalen Brunson? Yeah, I did, Werewolf. I already did. I did that earlier in the stream. Like I said, I feel like they can cancel each other out. I said, to put it this way, I said that, I said Donovan Mitchell has a bigger impact in terms of, or let me say this. Donovan Mitchell gives the Cavs a bigger advantage over the Knicks than Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle gives the Knicks a bigger advantage over the Cavs. Does that make any sense? Like, I feel like Donovan Mitchell gives the Cavs a much better chance to win than Julius Randle or Jalen Brunson gives the Knicks the chance to win over the Cavs. So, I already said that. I think Jalen Brunson's a good player. I feel like they can go toe-to-toe. I already said I feel like Evan Mobley is the X factor for the Cavs. If he can, score 15 points, get 10 rebounds, do that, I feel like he can do that. Knicks will take the Cavs in 3. That's a big task. It's a 7-game series, but you're all right. But no, like I said, I definitely feel like, Donovan Mitchell, he's a better player. He's the best guard in the league, or not in the league, in the East. I feel like Jalen Brunson's a really good player, but I feel like Donovan Mitchell, I feel like 70% of the time, I think Donovan Mitchell will beat Jalen Brunson. So yeah, I just feel like Donovan Mitchell gives the Cavs a much better advantage over the Knicks than Jalen Brunson does over the Cavs. But let's continue on here with the ratings here. The Cavs, I think they're the only team in the league that are top 10 in both offensive and defensive rating. So we're 8th in the league in terms of offensive rating with about 116.4 points, or 116.4, 8th best in the league, and we're the best defensive rated team in the league as well. We're also a really good three-point shooting team as well. Surprisingly, we're a good three-point shooting team. We're top 10 in that as well. We shoot about 36% from 3. So the Knicks definitely have to keep in mind with, Cavs shooting 3s. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. Garland shooting about 41% from 3. Donovan Mitchell shooting about 38% or 39% from 3. Jetty Osman, when he's hot, he can hit 5 out of 7. So, it's a ask Donovan Mitchell about Jalen Brunson. Yeah, so. But no, I mean, definitely, I feel like the Cavs have a really good shot. If they can make their 3s, that's the one thing that if the bench can make their 3s, Cavs can be in a really good position. Because the Knicks, they can do that as well. They can hit a lot of threes. So I definitely feel like if the Cavs can continue to hit their shots, they can definitely win this series. But defensive rating, 110.6, best in the NBA. Absolutely good. And also plus 5.2 in net rating. That's second best in the NBA. That's in terms of point differential and, wins. This Cavs team is very good. This Cavs, they're sixth best record in the NBA. I mean, I just don't see how a lot of people can feel like the Cavs are going to go down in 5. I've heard some people say that. That's not going to happen I just don't see that happening. I feel like this is a 6-7 game series for everybody. Tell Donovan Mitchell to stop touching the Knicks uniform. I mean, he has to. He has to play defense, right? He has to play defense. All right, but whatever. Here we go. For the Knicks stats, really good offensive team. They could score about 116 points per game. It's about 12th best in the NBA. A big part of that's Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickley in terms of and stuff like that. Don't know if RJ Barrett really contributes to that. I know he scores 19 points per game, but I don't know. They're good. They hold teams to a pretty low score. Only giving up around 113 points per game, which is about 11th best in the league. So where the Cavs are first in the NBA, the Knicks are about 11th. Do you see the Cavs panicking if they fall behind in the series? I don't think so, no, because I feel like, we have Donovan Mitchell. I feel like if you have Donovan Mitchell, who's playing his career best, basketball, his best basketball in his career, I feel like anything's possible. Now, if you ask me if we go down 3-1, yeah, then I think it's panic mode. But if it's 3-2, no, I don't feel like that's a big problem. I just don't feel like that's an issue. But 3-1, I think it's a different story. But I definitely think Donovan Mitchell, guys like that, they'll be able to corral and lead these guys. Even though they're young, I just feel like the Cavs have a really good shot to win this thing in 6. Forget last year. What about how Jalen Brunson did Donovan Mitchell this year? Donovan Mitchell is insane. Jalen Brunson's insane, but I would take Donovan Mitchell over Jalen Brunson. But like I said, the Knicks and the Cavs are so similar. That's the thing. The Knicks and the Cavs are very similar to each other. They both are really slow when it comes to pace. The Knicks are 26th. The Cavs are 30th. Go ahead, Big Task. Ask your question. The Knicks offensive rating, they're really good. They're 4th best in the league in terms of offensive rating at 117.8. Their defensive rating though leaves something to be desired, which is kind of surprising. They're only 18th in the league in terms of defensive rating, only at around 114.7. So the Cavs are best in the league at 110.6. The Knicks are 114.7, or 18th best in the league in terms of defensive rating. So, the Cavaliers are just a well-rounded team. The Knicks I definitely feel like if the Knicks have Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, can just absolutely have a shot to, take over the series. I definitely feel that. The only question is that how's Julius Randle's health going to affect, how's Julius Randle's health and ankle going to affect this series? Because if Julius Randle cannot play for the first 2 games, I feel like that's a huge advantage to the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're at home court. Randle's not there. You got Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickley, I feel like, and Josh Hart to worry about. I feel like that can be very manageable for the Cavs. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I definitely feel like that can be a really good advantage for the Cavs if Julius Randle cannot go for the next couple of games in the series. And then they have the 7th best net rating at 3.1. So, like I said, these two teams are very similar. Contrary to what some people say, and what some people in the chat are saying, these teams are very similar to one another. and it's going to be a very contested series. I mean, both teams have a 1-2 punch. In my opinion, I think the Cavs have a more even team in terms of starting five. I just feel like we're more spread out. I just don't trust. I don't trust R.J. Barrett for the Knicks. I feel like Mitchell Robinson can do some damage defensively and on the offensive boards, but I don't trust R.J. Barrett if I'm a Knicks fan. Quentin Grimes is pretty good. If Julius Randle can't go, I'll be. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit worried about that. I'll be worried about that. Okay, do you believe that the Cavs will throw in the towel for Game 4, or will the referee stop the fight by TK? All right, big task. I know. I see it. I see you. The Josh Hart trade impacted the team so much. Those Knick numbers, I think, look a lot different if you look at them since the All-Star break. Yeah, I know. That's what I said before. Josh Hart's trade to the Knicks was a really good one, and the Knicks should have done that. And it was a really good trade for the Knicks to do. It was smart. They needed that because Cam Reddish was not doing anything for them. And they found an upgrade where Cam Reddish couldn't do it. So, I mean, it's helped out. It's helped them out a lot on their bench. Josh Hart was rumored to go to the Cavs. The Cavs were interested in getting him, and the Knicks got in there and they traded for him. So it was a good job by the Knicks, and he's shown us that he can do some damage to us. That's why I said I think Josh Hart, it could be that X factor coming off the bench for the Knicks, because I just don't see anybody on the Cavs bench, maybe like Jetty Osman, can keep up with Josh Hart. So that's what I'm saying. But anyways, guys, we got 7 people in here. Thank you guys so much for coming out here on your Saturday night to come out and listen to me ramble about the Cavs Knicks series and give you guys my thoughts. If you are new and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, like the video, like the stream. Also, down here is my Cash App. If you guys are feeling extra generous, that's the best way you can donate to my channel. All proceeds will go to upgrading the quality of the videos. We're going to be doing some things down for Game 1 of the playoff series. I'm going to go to that game. So we're going to be doing some vlogs down there. We'll be interacting with some fans. Hopefully we get some Knicks and some Cavs fans' perspectives of the series. So if you guys are interested in that, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. It's going to be very interesting. And thank you guys so much for your support the last couple of days. We've gotten like 25 new subs already the last couple of days. So thank you guys so much for your support. Even if you don't like me, even if you don't like Cleveland sports, you'll just like sports in general, hit that subscribe button. Benchwarmer Sports, can you imagine the referee saying that based on the beating in Game 3 that the team won't be able to continue? I mean, once the Cavs go 3-0, you guys might want to go throw in the towel. You guys probably want to do that. Once the Cavs go 3-0, after we win Game 3, you guys can throw in the towel. The referees can do that if you guys wanted to do that. But that's fine. But well, let's say. All right here. But to finalize everything, we've been at for about an hour. We've been at it. Let's get on with the prediction, okay? Cavs, Knicks, 7-game series. Hey, Big Taz, I mean, you threw it at me, I can throw it back. You guys can throw in the towel when we win Game 3. It's fine. But, series prediction. Cavs, Knicks, 7-game series. Jalen Brunson, possibly Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Manuel Quickley, Josh Hart, Obi Toppin, taking on Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Dean Wade, not Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro, maybe, Danny Green, all those guys. Who wins the series? In terms of a 7-game series, I can see this going either way. I feel like this is a 7 game series that can go either way to the Knicks or the Cavs. If you want my honest opinion, and I've changed my opinion and my prediction many times over the last couple of days, I feel like the Cavs win this series in 7. I feel this is going in 7 games, 6 or 7 games. I feel like the Cavs win this one in 7. I think Donovan Mitchell can absolutely score 40 points a game. I think Darius Garland will show up to play this series. I think he'll probably do 25 points per game. 10 assists around there. Evan Mobley, I think, will contribute really nice. Jared Allen. If Isaac Okoro is back, go on. Jalen Brunson, I think that can be a really big help for the Cavs. Karis LeVert, I think if he can continue to play the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks, absolutely helps. But the biggest reason why I'm picking the Cavs is one person, and that's Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks don't have Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell can absolutely carry the Cavaliers past the Knicks. I don't think it's going to be a series that's less than 6 games. I would be shocked if either team wins this series in less than 6 games because both teams are so similar. It's going to be a very competitive series. Donovan Mitchell, I think, is going to have to score 40 points a night. I think if Isaac Okoro can limit the impact that Jalen Brunson can have, I think the Cavs win this thing in 7. I think they are going to win it in 7. I think Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, if he can play the entire series, can do some damage to the Cavs. I think, I just definitely feel like the Cavs have an upper hand just because they have Donovan Mitchell. And that's not just because I'm a Cavs fan. I just feel like in terms of all the numbers that I've seen, in terms of the fact that the Cavs, the Knicks bench is better than the Cavs, but not that much better. In terms that the fact that the Cavs are a lot more healthy than the Knicks are. With the question mark of Julius Randle being up in the air for the beginning of the series, which I think can really, really hurt the Knicks if Julius Randle cannot go for the first 2 games. I think that really hurts the Knicks, and that's why I'm saying it, that the uncertainty of Julius Randle's status for those first game or 2, I think that's very interesting, and I think that hurts the Knicks. That's why I'm saying I feel like if he's out for the first 2 games, I think the Cavs being at home court can go up 2-0. It'll be difficult. That's why I'm saying the series is going to go 7 games, but I feel like if the Cavs can steal a win in the first 2 games, I think that's the difference right there, and I think that's why it's going to go to 7. If Cavs get past the Knicks, do you think they can beat the Bucks? No. That's what I'm saying. I'm not that blind. I'm not that blind as a Cavs fan. I would be shocked if we win. If we win against the Bucks, I will be absolutely shocked. I think we win maybe 1 game in that series and we lose 4-1. And you know what? That's a successful season for me because you know why? I think we're 1 or 2 years away from being a real championship contender. I think we are. I definitely feel that way. And I think the Knicks are trending in the same path like that too. So, I mean, like I said, this series is going to be very competitive from both sides. It's going to be a fun series to watch. It's going to be frustrating at times. I just feel like this series is going to be fun. That's why I think it's going to go 7 games. And I got the Cleveland Cavaliers winning at 7 just solely based on the fact that Donovan Mitchell can just be that X factor. Julius Randle's health is up in the air. And, with a guy like Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen as well, I feel like defensively they can limit the impact that, and Isaac Okoro defensively, I feel like they can limit the impact that the Knicks can do offensively. You didn't read my comment? What comment? What did you say? Donovan Mitchell's going to have to average 100 points? No, he's not. No, he's not. I'm assuming that's the comment I didn't read, but anyways, what are your predictions? Put it down in the chat, put it down in the comment section. If you're watching this on demand on YouTube, put it down in the comment section. What is your series prediction? Big task. I have a feeling I know what yours is. I got the Cavs going right back to being a miserable franchise prior to LeBron James. Do you not know who Mark Price is? Or Brad Daugherty or Larry Nance? Or Hot Rod Williams? Or Brad Johnson? The referee won? Referee, after reviewing the video, is determined that the Cavs will not be able to continue due to the lacerations from the Knicks. I don't know, man. I think Donovan Mitchell can just do that by himself to the Knicks. Put it down in the chat. What do you guys think? Who do you have winning? I'm assuming we're going to have some Knicks in 6 or Knicks in 7. It's going 7. Can't say who's going to win. Game 1 may be a good indicator. I don't know about Game 1. I definitely feel like you need to have a little bit more than one game, but I'll say after Game 4. I'll say Game 4 is probably a good indicator. I wouldn't say Game 1 is going to be a good indicator, but all right. I think if that's all we got, I think that will do it for the stream here. But once again, thank you guys so much for coming out here on your Saturday night. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with me here, listening to me ramble about the Cavs Knicks. Once again, I know it's the third time I'll say it, but if you guys are new and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button so this video and stream will be helped out in the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for your support the last couple of days. I really do appreciate it. It depends a lot on if Julius Randle is playing healthy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's Julius. If Julius Randle cannot come back for like the first couple of games, I feel like if the Cavs can win those couple of games he's out, that's huge. That's a huge thing. What big task? I'm waiting. Who will stop quickly? The Cavs defense. Isaac Okoro. I don't think he can stop. I don't think quickly can be stopped. I think he can be contained. That's all the Cavs have to do is just contain. The great Cold War strategy, just containment. That's all you got to do. All right, but that's it, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for hanging out with me. Going on an hour and 16 minutes. A lot easier than my 7.5 hour NFL playoff streams, that's for sure. That is for sure. I did a 7.5 hour stream for the NFL playoffs. Oh boy, it's a lot easier right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. I'll see you guys all in another video. We're doing some videos down for the Cavs Knicks series. We're doing some more videos about the series here coming up in this week. I'm waiting for one more. What do you got, Big Task? Final one. Make sure it's a good one. Final comment. Make sure it's a good comment. Look at the Cavs' new logo. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for your support. I'll see you guys all in another video.